my cheeks. My mom bends down and gives me a pat on the back and a kiss on the forehead. It's time for you to go. She can barely choke out the words. I slip my hand out of my father's tight grip and take the feeble steps towards the other children, in various states of shock, behind the kindergarten sign.
This is just one of the many memories from this year's graduating class. It's hard to imagine that this was 9 years ago. Since then, not much has changed. As 8th graders, we still walk up to the school with our shoes untied, our hearts racing because we forgot to study for a test, and our knees buckled under the weight of our backpacks. But there are a few things that have changed. It seems like just yesterday that we were little kindergartners, learning our numbers, forming sentences, learning to read, and looking up at all the 8th graders. Now, we are the 8th graders. We never thought this day would come. We made it. After 9 long years, it's we who are graduating. Tears will be shed as we all go down our different paths. Smiles will be shared as hugs are spread. Because the majority of the class has been together since kindergarten, we consider everyone family. We have spent many mornings, afternoons, and evenings together, whether we wanted to or not.
Today is the last of those days. Today, we stand as one class, one team, one group, and one family. Quote, home is a place where when you go there, they have to take you in, unquote. This is a quote from Death of a Hired Man by Robert Frost. Earlier this year, we discussed this quote and defined what it meant to us. We decided that it meant exactly what it said. When you need someone, you go home and they help. Then we had to define what home meant to us. And we came to the conclusion that home is not a place, but a feeling. A place where you feel safe. A place where the people support you. A place where the people love you unconditionally. After being with this community for however long, we can comfortably say that MPB is home to all of us.
Our primary years leaped by with excitement. We voyaged to a desolate Brazilian jungle, also known as the Butterfly Pavilion, traveled to the Pompeii ruins with Jack and Annie in the Magic Treehouse series, and began the greatly dreaded tests, more commonly referred to as Iowa testing. We then traveled to the mysterious treehouse. We learned how to write in the ancient calligraphy known as cursive. Began difficult multiplication and division problems, and received the MPB Nobel Peace Prize, or the Super Citizen Award.
Finally, after much patience, we make it to middle school. It seems like just yesterday that we were vulnerable 6th graders, battling the lockers, fearing the 10th and 8th graders, and consistently forgetting the schedule. Look at us now. We are the 8th graders, moving on with our lives, often forgetting to look back on those sentimental moments, and often taking what we have for granted. We could stand here all night, sharing stories of the past and telling memories. But the thing is that they will stay just the way they are, memories stuck in the back of our minds. But the fun thing about memories is you won't forget them. They won't let you. Though it's been fun, it's a bittersweet ending.
Although change is good, and it is time to move on from middle school, we will definitely miss MPB and all the people whom we have grown up with. MPB was fun, but it also challenged us. The teachers would not let us get away with procrastination. Our expectations for homework were met and exceeded tenfold. However, we found our way, step by step. High school may be terrifying for some, but we are certain that MPB has taught us the skills that we need to be prepared. Dance after dance, book report after book report, we wound our way through the year.
In our time
You know when people say life is like a roller coaster? They are 100% correct. Life is full of its ups and downs, just like a roller coaster. Our time at MPB has been a roller coaster night. As we sat in our cars, waiting for our educational adventure to begin, we realized that the teachers, staff, and maintenance personnel were the tracks that would keep us going. We have been able to rely on them to have our backs, and trusted that if we fell, they would catch us.
Through thick and thin, we got through our experiences together. But not only have the people in this community taught us to come to them for help, but to also listen to God, to guide us throughout our difficulties. And for that, we will never be able to repay them. But who holds the tracks together? The nails, of course. Ms. McMahon and Ms. Mountainy, you have taught us to work together. You have taught us that we are stronger together than apart. You have taught us the real meaning of love. We will be forever grateful for this. Thank you so much.
What protects the tracks? The cover or roof over the platform. This is Father Pat. We know how much you have done for us without even realizing it. You have taught us that you can still be religious and crack a joke if you are there. We will always appreciate you for what you have instilled in us. What holds this all together is the support structures. For this, we have our parents. Thank you so much for making all of this possible and for what you have done for us. We will never take you for granted. And finally, we share this ride with our friends. We have kept each other out of trouble, except for a few rare occasions where we were just trying to have a little fun. But seriously, without you, we would never be here right now. We are glad to be able to say that we have established a friendship that will last a lifetime. Every last one of you will have a special place in our heart. It's not a goodbye. It's only a so long MPB class of 2016.
As Bernie Siegel, a famous author, once said, quote, God wants us to know that life is a series of beginnings, not endings, just as graduations are not terminations, but commencements. Creation is an ongoing process, and when we create a perfect world where love and compassion are shared by all, suffering will cease, unquote. This graduation is not the end of something, but just the beginning. School, at sometimes, can be hard, but we persevered, set goals, learned from our mistakes, and overcame obstacles. We were responsible, aimed high, were charitable, dreamed, changed, and created opportunities for ourselves. All these things are leading us to a promising future.
We would like to thank you all for joining us on this extraordinary and life-changing road. After today, the 8th graders will move on to become wonderful freshmen at their high school of choice. But today, we are still the class of 2016.